For one, I really, really, really want to do acting. Like I still think I could do it. And there's actually this girl in my class right now who is really into acting, but she said when COVID hit, there wasn't a lot of like health insurance, so she had to do something, and criminal justice was the other route to go. But for me, it was mostly I didn't want to live in New York City, and in order to get up in the world, you have to go where the filming takes place. And New York City is not my scene by any means. I don't like the city. I don't mind working in the city. I just don't want to live there. And when I went to film camp, I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun. I just didn't see myself staying there for long periods of time.
All right. Why is your camera so much better than mine? I hate how fuzzy my camera looks on my laptop. I really do.
I'm on my phone, so that's possibly why.
You think they would, I don't know. I'm surprised for the price I paid for this laptop, like how many, 3 years ago, you think you'd have a better camera?
You have a Mac?
No, I have a PC. That's probably why, but I don't know. I haven't made
The
these.
camera,
Go ahead,
I
sorry.
feel like the cameras, no, like I feel like the cameras on those aren't good, aren't as good. Aren't they using, they're used for like gaming, right?
They are, but I don't know. Like this, with it being a laptop, there's a difference to me between a laptop and like a home-based computer.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
but I would assume the laptop would have better quality, but it really doesn't. So, but of
What's
course.
that poster in the background?
Oh, so that was the Wolverine one that I did the scene recreation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that was
Sorry.
out of Good Boys Business College. So that was, so what would that have been? That would have been 2015. So 6 years ago.
Holy crap.
Hard to believe.
Everything seems so long ago.
I mean, heck, that was filmed at Faith Church. So
Holy crap. Geez, like 2012 and like 15 just seems like yesterday to me.
I'm coming up on 7 years graduated.
From college?
No, from high school.
Oh, I was about to
Like,
say.
I'm hitting the 7 year mark and it scares the crap out of me thinking, okay, we're gonna have a 10 year class reunion in about 3 years.
Are you gonna go?
No, absolutely not.
I didn't think so. I'm not going to mine either. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good.
If I showed up, I'd probably like rent like a limo or whatever and just like pay some people, like some chicks to come with me and be like, hey, look at the success. And then like being like, no, we're gonna fail.
I know. They're gonna be like, this is not actually what he does. Don't worry.
No.
They're gonna rat you out.
Oh, probably so. But how have you been?
Pretty good. How are you?
I can't I mean, I can complain, but I mean, it's the same old, same old. I'm doing a lot more video. I didn't really have a good year in photography this year. That really didn't click. I thought I'd have more senior pictures and weddings and stuff like that. But I'm
Really?
doing a lot more on the video end this year. So
Well, that's good. At least you got something.
yeah, I went out to Pittsburgh. I did a music video for a band out there. So that was cool. Went down to
Oh,
Florida
that's
for a
cool.
business trip. So I'm traveling. I guess that's
I
good.
saw that you went to Florida and I was like, what the heck? I was like, that's nice because you always said you wanted to go there. So,
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it, and we went down for the Halloween fest. So there was,
oh, okay.
I did 10 haunted houses at Universal, and if you know anything about me, I get scared to death very easily.
Yeah, but Universal's really cool. They do like really good cinematic things.
Yeah, which actually we went to SeaWorld's grand opening too for their Hollow Scream or whatever. It's the first year
Hmm.
that SeaWorld's doing it. I actually like SeaWorld's better than Universal.
Yeah, we have a SeaWorld here too. It's about like 2 hours from me. They do a good job though.
So did you go to? I'm assuming they had that down there too. Did you go to the Hollow Scream?
Actually, I don't think they did do it here, but I did read reviews on it from the one in Florida.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they do it at all SeaWorlds because they're not as popular.
At least across America, Texas is one of the better states to go to right about now. So
That's true. It's kind of like they're their own country.
I applaud you completely. If I ever
Well,
came down
thank
to
you.
visit, you should line me up a job because I'm probably not leaving.
Well, I could get you one very fast. There's a lot of opportunities here and a lot of room for like growth, which I like a lot.
No, I like that too, and I do kind of want to leave the state, but I'm not 100% sure what I want to do yet. Like,
Well,
of
like
course,
I
film
don't.
and entertainment's the main goal, but
Yeah, there's a lot in Georgia though. Like if you want to go south, they film a lot of stuff in Atlanta. You could always live on the outside of the city and then go into the city for work. kind of what I'm doing because I don't like living in the city, but I don't think I see myself staying here for forever. Like I want to go to the Carolinas at some point, but I think like starting here for a career is really good.
Give me 5 years. We'll meet each other in the Carolinas. How about that?
I'm down for that. It's a good place to raise a family, so like I really want to go there.
Are you thinking South Carolina, North Carolina, Outer Banks, inner, like towards the mountain regions?
I think north, I'm gonna go with south. I feel like is more city type, and that's just not my scene. Like I would visit it. Like I think it's fun to visit cities. I just don't want to be like living in a city.
And for somebody like me that drives everywhere, if I wanted to go to Florida, if I wanted to go home, North Carolina is a good spot because then it's not like a super long trip to either.
That's what
But
I'm saying. Like here, I have literally have to fly everywhere to see somebody. Like I don't want to do that.
so
So
I'm trying to think, what is it from, if you would drive to Pennsylvania, would it be like 30 hours or 25 hours or?
it's 30. It's
Oh.
terrible.
So basically tell the family, hey, I'm not coming home for Thanksgiving. I'll be home for Christmas, but like, no, I'm
Well,
not
I
making the
told
trip.
him that. I was like, listen, like I really can't come home for Thanksgiving because I only get one day off of school. So I was like, it's Thanksgiving Day, so I can't come. Sorry. I felt really bad though because I do miss them a lot. But I was like, I'll see you for Christmas. I get a really long break.
So you've adapted to change pretty well throughout your whole life cycle.
Pretty much.
So, I mean, just to recap, correct me if I'm wrong. So, when I first met you, obviously you wanted to go in for a lot of arts, like whether it's theater, performing, and you've done that to, I would argue, some great success, by the way, because you've been on more sets than I have. So, with that being said, and then you changed not only majors, but you went to different colleges, and then eventually you settled down to what you presume to be your career. So, take us through a little bit of the process of changing. Like, how have you adapted? What has your mindset been this whole time?
Well, for one, I really, really, really want to do acting. Like I still think I could do it. And there's actually this girl in my class right now who is really into acting, but she said when COVID hit, there wasn't a lot of like health insurance, so she had to do something, and criminal justice was the other route to go. But for me, it was mostly I didn't want to live in New York City, and in order to get up in the world, you have to go where the filming takes place. In New York City is not my scene by any means. I don't like the city. I don't mind working in the city. I just don't want to live there. And when I went to film camp, I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun. I just didn't see myself staying there for long periods of time. But like going to like film camp was really fun. Um, I also wasn't very good at school, so that didn't really help. But like one thing I've always had in mind is like if I don't do something with my life, like I'm never gonna be able to like take care of myself or family. So I have to do something. And criminal justice was always like an interest of mine. Like if I wanted to be on a set, it would be a TV show where I was doing something in criminal justice, like being a police officer. But they don't really have that around here. So I kind of just have to go with what I think I'm gonna make it in. Because I'm still interested in like I want to be homicide detective. I think that's really cool. But I also would love to do acting. It's just I've moved around a lot, but my family has always kind of been like my mom worked in Philly, my dad worked in New Jersey when I was younger. So we've always kind of just not been around each other. So I was already used to it. And then when I was moving around, I was like, well, this is what I got to do because that's kind of how my mom was raised. She kind of just went where the money took her. And that's kind of what I'm doing. But I mean, it's hard. The academy's tough, but it's very like hard academically, like really hard.
Do you ever talk to your coworkers about like any of the films you've been on, like your real passion, like your passion for film, or is that something that you're like, oh, we're strictly professional here, like we just talked about forensic evidence and who shot who?
No, I mean, yeah, we do talk about that, but no, I do talk to them about that. The other day we were literally watching that one movie that was in for like 2 seconds, and they were laughing because I was like, I mean, it's only 2 seconds, but it's still pretty cool. Like we were talking about it. Um, they always said like there's always stuff you could do around here because it's in the city, but it's just a dangerous area. So I don't know what's real and what's not real. You know how filming is. So
Yeah.
yeah, my friend that's in my class, she went to New York to study it. So she said there's not much around here, but we'll see. You never know. You never know. Hey, if I'm a cop, I'll retire by 42. Maybe I can still get into acting.
There you go. I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I'll be set. Like I'll still be making money and somehow still be doing what I want. So
Did
It's all
that fi-
good.
did that film The Frost ever come out that you were
It
in?
says
Or
it's set to come out in November 2022 now, so I have no idea when
they
it's
pushed
coming
it
out.
back again?
Probably because of COVID, because I filmed it right before COVID.
Do you know how long that
So
film was going to be? Was it going to be a short feature or in
it's
between?
a short film, but the makeup for the Ice Queen was a lot. It took them 8 hours to put it on her. So, I mean, she looks like Krampus. I don't know if you've ever seen Krampus, just a girl.
Yes. That thing
It
scares
looks
me.
pretty cool, but
That thing scares me, by the way, Krampus.
Krampus scares you?
I always tried to be a good kid, so I never had to see Krampus.
Oh my goodness. You actually believed in that?
No, I didn't. That was a joke.
I was about to say, wait a second.
For anybody out there that, and this can go along with the change question, when you go through different changes in your life, whether it's majors, career, place that you live, relationship status, whatever, um, there's always this feeling of lost. Like, okay, am I where I want to be?
Mm, You
So,
know,
and finding
I've kind
yourself.
of always felt like that for a while.
I mean, I feel like we all do, but I guess I just want to have a conversation on it because for people that could be listening or out there listening that feel lost, and we don't even have to just specify in the arts right now, even though this is like strictly a film channel for the most part, but let's talk about like in criminal justice or whatever. Um, how do you still feel lost? Like semi around like the world around you, like you don't fit in. Is this really what I want to do? Do you wake up every day? Like, is there some doubt? And how do you deal with that and like finding yourself in the process?
Honestly, I have no doubt right now. Like being here kind of makes me feel like I'm at home. Like I made friends pretty fast, but like doing the job itself, like when I went to the academy, it felt like natural. Like it felt like this is what I should be doing. And before, talking about like relationships and school and stuff, it kind of always felt like I was really lost or like lonely. But what I found out is you can feel more lonely in the relationship you're in and when you do when you are alone. And the same with work. Like if you don't like your work, you're not going to succeed in it. You're just going to be going through the motions. So, I mean, you have to kind of look at it like it sucks, like the situation you're in. But if you want to push forward, you kind of have to get out of whatever you're in and do what you want because that's how you're going to make yourself better.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people too, like, and I'll put myself in this example. When you stay in your hometown and you try to build a business or whatever, like there's always like the the idea of connecting with people. Like, yeah, I've done a lot of podcasts, but the idea of actually like building this connection, this base of people that you can talk to throughout the industry that I want to get into, I'm kind of limited here. So I do need
Right.
to reach out to go to different places, whether it's Atlanta that we talked about earlier, whether it's New York, whether it's somewhere in Texas, Carolina, whatever. Um, but I just I've never been one to really doubt about what I wanted to do for a living. I kind of knew that. I just thought I would be more of a writer than a director because
Right.
in fifth grade I had wrote as stupid as this sounds, I wrote a little short novel, which was like 10 pages long, but I consider it a novel. So I know my buddy Jake's watching it. He's gonna be upset
Hey,
I
it was
called it
in
a novel.
fifth grade. That's pretty long for a fifth grader.
It is true. And it was called The Series of Copra. I'll never forget it. I think I still have the book because we had to like animate drawings and stuff like that. It was a class project. And like, okay, I was like, I'm inspired by Star Wars. I love George Lucas. I was like, okay, I can see myself as a writer. Then all of a sudden, I watched more behind the scenes of Star Wars and I saw the actual Star Wars movie itself, the finished production. I was like, you know what? Maybe I want to build sets. And then eventually I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to be a director. And that's what I want to do for a living. But for people that really don't know how did you come to the process of that criminal justice or acting was what you wanted to do? Like, is there a lot of different things that you wanted to do and then like kind of narrowed it down? How did you even find that?
Honestly, at first, I really wanted to be a marine biologist. I don't know where that came from. I think it's because my mom took me to swim with dolphins a while back, and then I saw that Shamu like killed somebody, and I was like, yeah, never mind. But now I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think watching TV made me like Criminal Minds and stuff. That kind of made me interested in it. And then when I started researching about it and actually learning about it, like I took a forensics class and I thought it was super cool. Like it was like the most fun thing I ever did. So that's kind of how I knew. But watching TV is what made me realize that. And then once like I kind of got in, like when you're little and you do all the little plays and stuff, I liked that stuff, but I didn't feel like theater was really like my area. So once I saw like got older and saw all these movies, I was like, I really like movies and I really started to enjoy the way that the actors portrayed the characters. And I think that's kind of what made me interested in it. And ever since then, I tried to always like write my own scripts and then read them. And everybody would always say, like, that sounds like really natural. Like you're doing really well. And I'm like, maybe I'd be good at this. So then I tried it out and went to that camp and it was great. I did like a bunch of little things on the side, did a couple like school things like AMTC, actors, models, and talent for Christ. I did that and that was really cool. Actually, one of my friends I did that, he is now one of the football players on the show All American. So I thought that was cool.
Oh,
But
that's awesome.
yeah, so I mean, it's all about like getting out there. Like my friend always said the most successful people are the ones that take risks. So I knew I had to like go to like travel basically to get into acting. But you never know where you're gonna end up. So
You still like hit up the IMDb page or like Backstage or your oh my goodness, I'm gonna blank on, you just said it, but the talent actors for
oh, actors, models, talent for Christ.
Okay. Do you ever
Well,
hit up
they
those sites
stopped.
still? And like out of curiosity, even though you're down in Texas, you're like, maybe I'll just look to see what's on there. Like, do you skim through any like jobs?
Well, actors, models, and talent for Christ stopped getting funded, so they're no longer in the works. But they still send out like emails and stuff about God's work. So I kind of look at those sometimes. But backstage, I literally just saw the other day that they were hiring for a new Pretty Little Liars thing, a new series. I think it's just like a junior one, but I don't think it's by me. And then IMDb, I was looking at that the other day with the girl in my academy. She really likes that stuff. And I was also looking into central casting, but they only have Georgia locations, so I can't go. But maybe when I move to the Carolinas, I'll be gone.
And how, so because I'm gonna ask you, you don't have to answer this. We can even edit out if you don't want to answer this, but like what brought you back? Because honestly, I missed you on Instagram. I knew that you had taken
Oh,
some time off of social media. So
you
welcome
noticed
back.
that? I was like, no one's gonna notice this.
I noticed, I cared. But so with taking time off social media, A, is there a mindset behind that? B, what brought you back on? And C, how do you still are able to connect with people that are in your field or try to establish more of like your resume online?
Okay, well, honestly, what took me off social media was everything that everybody posted was literally so political. Like, if somebody didn't post something and people noticed that they didn't post something, it was like bad that they didn't post something to support it. And that really irked me. And I knew I would get myself in trouble if I stayed on there because just seeing it kind of made me angry. So I was like, all right, whatever. Because, like, I just wish people would let people do what they want. Like, just let them be. Like, it's supposed to be like Instagram was supposed to be a place where people posted pictures of like things they like to do, not like people get into arguments over dumb stuff. Like, that's just, I don't know. I just didn't want to see it. So I deleted it. And then I got it back when basically when I moved down here because I felt like I was a better person and I have more patience now. So it's okay. But it is kind of hard to build your resume on social media. I would say like I give a lot of credit to the Instagram influencers. I know like a lot of people kind of bash their jobs, but it takes a really long time for somebody to get up there in that field. So I give them a lot of credit for it.
Oh,
They really have to,
they put a lot of
they put a
hours
lot of
into it.
work. All they do is literally vlog. And I don't know if you saw, but like the Gabby Petito girl, she wanted to be a vlogger and that's all she did was vlog. And I felt bad because like she in one of her videos she said that she spent all day vlogging. But I mean she's famous, just not in that way.
Yeah.
Feel bad for her.
One of the downfalls, I guess, of that too is because for people that didn't know Gabby at all before this all went down, if you type in on YouTube her name, you cannot find, I have yet to find her actual channel or any of her vlogs. It's all been news articles about the situation that occurred. So
I could not find it either. I literally had to go onto her Instagram page and click on the link in her bio to watch her video.
that's such a weird feeling. Now, granted, all prayers and stuff like that to the parents and the family and everybody that was,
Right.
involved in that tragedy. But like, it's such a weird feeling to think that like you can click on somebody's profile like after they're gone. And it's just like, it's almost
It's
like they're still
weird.
there.
Yeah, it's weird. I hope they keep her page up because she has a lot of beautiful pictures on there. But it's sad because she had a very like bubbly personality. I didn't know her personally, but just from seeing her pictures, it seemed like she was a very sweet girl. So I feel bad.
No, I mean, it definitely is a tragedy in what occurred in the situation itself. Which, I'm not one to give advice on it, but if you are ever in a situation where you're in a relationship and you have abusive significant others, it is good to get out or at least tell somebody in advance. And
Yes.
there's a lot of good things that can come out of. See, even in a tragedy like this, there's a lot of good things that can come out of it because stories can be, people can express themselves for like situation that they're in and don't, so you don't end up to be in her situation, I should say.
Right. And I think it's sad because a lot of people don't tell police officers because what's going on in the world right now with them is kind of bad, and it's painted a bad picture, sour taste in someone's mouth. So people don't really trust them to tell them. So it's kind of like, how do you even get out of that situation? Like, at least tell a family member. That's the least you can do. But
Mhm.
hopefully people learn now that they see all this. So
Now, I don't know if you can specifically give your take on this, but have you heard of the Alec Baldwin situation going on?
I have.
Okay. I don't know. Obviously, I can't ask. I don't even know if you want to talk about it. I mean, but what do you think of everything just from the filmmaking aspect of it before you even get into the files and stuff?
Well, I don't feel like he would do something like that on purpose. Granted, I don't know him personally, but I do know the person that handed him the gun was very new to that area. So maybe I don't even know how a bullet would get on that scene. I really don't.
Well,
Because they're only
ABC News just reported that not only on set they had like a lot of different like rounds of blanks there, but they had 500 rounds of live ammunition on set, which is
right.
just
They should
absolutely
not have
insane.
lives. That's what I'm saying. They're only supposed to have blanks. They are not supposed to have live. So I don't know how they got live ammunition unless for some reason they were out of blanks and somebody went to go pick up live like really quick first, just for the effect. But I
But
mean, hopefully they wouldn't shoot somebody on purpose.
no, and I don't think it was. And people are like, he could be framed. I don't know. We'll let the jury and everybody else decide. The forensics, whoever's doing it.
He could very well be framed, but a lot of people go after celebrities in that case. So
The problem is though, whether he was framed or not, he's purposely pointed, or he knew he pointed the gun at her, and obviously
right.
didn't pull the trigger. So you know, I don't know how to do that because he's still, whether it was a joke or not, because he thought it was a blank and not loaded. Problem is when you put yourself in that situation, point the gun and pull the trigger, it's hard to, because the rule number one in life is never point a gun, whether you're playing or not, at somebody. So
Right.
it's just a hard situation there. Um,
And if he does get charged, I honestly don't know what he'll be charged with. He might. Did that person die?
yes, she died and the director got hit
Okay.
in the shoulder.
Okay, I do remember that. He might be charged with reckless manslaughter because it was reckless to point it at her face, or he also might be charged with negligent homicide.
Well, see, here's the thing too. I don't know where exactly it hit her because they said, now this is just reporting from all different, everything in the media right now is just circle wind. You don't know what's true and what's not. But apparently,
Right.
um, whatever it did was it paralyzed her first and then she died. So it must have went through like the spinal somehow and then got the, but I don't know how tall she was. I don't know how short she was. So to hit somewhere and then hit the director behind her in the shoulder, I don't know where that all comes in.
It had to go through her and hit because yeah, that's really strange that it paralyzed her first. She must have been bleeding out for a really long time. I don't know if you heard the dispatch call.
What is it?
The dispatch call, like the person that called 911
Oh, no,
to
I didn't hear
report.
that. No.
Um, they weren't allowed on the set when she got shot. So they were trying to tell dispatch that somebody got shot, but they weren't allowed to see her. So when dispatch was asking all of these questions, like, are they alert? Are they still breathing? Like the people that were calling 911 had no idea. So the girl's just in there. I don't know if anybody was with her, but I feel like somebody with her should have been calling 911. That way they could get the medical attention that they needed.
Yeah. Well, and the thing too is, I guess, two things you can take out of this, I guess, in a good light, is that there's going to be more stricter and more common sense things that are going to happen on Hollywood sets. The other thing
Right.
too is, I know a lot with Marvel films specifically, and like even with Disney ran properties, they like to keep everything secret. So cast and crew don't really have their cell phones out. They don't really have them with them or whatever because they're just,
Oh,
nobody
that's
wants that
very
leaked photo.
true.
So I'm
That's very
wondering if
true.
now, you know, I mean, I rather have everybody be safe and the plot leaked than have somebody die and not be able to actually have your phone.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I guess that's one good thing that can come out of this. Two good things possibly there, but I mean, at the end, we'll have to wait for everything to go through. But I just wanted your opinion on that because that was bigger news. Now, on
Yeah.
the other news, and this is just back and forth conversation about films that we've seen, films that we haven't seen, films that we want to see. Do you have any top films right now that you're really looking forward to, or TV shows?
Yes. So, I just watched Squid Games and I thought it was pretty good. I kind of liked the ending. A lot of people really didn't like the ending because it's kind of a bad ending, but I think that's a good thing because people always expect a happy ending. So I liked it. I don't know if you've seen it, but it was pretty good.
I'm on episode 5, so I don't know how many more episodes I have left, but
Okay, well, thank God I didn't say anything.
I mean,
But
I wish there was things I could tell you about. By the way, going back through our Instagram conversations at one point in time, because I was like, okay, what did I talk to you last about? So I went through, and you know how like whenever somebody deletes, it's like new user or whatever, something, something, something
oh yes, yes,
profile. So yours, one of the last conversations we had on that was you're like, oh, I just saw Endgame, we got to talk about it, and we never talked about it. But that's besides the point.
I
Um,
did really like Endgame. I saw it 4 times
but
the opening week.
there's so many things I want to talk about Squid Game, but I don't want to spoil anything on the podcast. Um,
Oh, I see.
it's hard not to want to say something. How can I put this in terminology? The When they found out in the games, let me see if I can phrase this good. When they found out in the games in episode 4, episode 5, when an incident had an outbreak in the actual, like not the game, but like the actual when there was an outbreak in where they slept, and
Oh,
so and so did something to somebody, and then the money came down from the ceiling, and they didn't care about the lives of the players. Like that's kind of one of the last things I've seen, other than like the huge fight that broke out. But I'm over here like, once they added that aspect to it, I was like, oh no, everybody's in danger, not just in the
yep.
games.
Oh yeah. I have a theory on it, but I have to wait till you're done watching it.
Did
So
your theory come true, or is it a theory like for another season?
it's a theory for the second season.
Did they confirm that? Because that took that guy like 10 years I saw to like even want to get into like creation of this. Like he kept pitching it to companies and companies and they kept shutting it down. So is this going to be
Um,
the second season? I'm assuming because it's so big and so popular right now. Like why wouldn't they?
I don't know why anybody would shut that down because it's like a different idea, but they didn't confirm it. I'm assuming there will be one since it was so popular, especially since it wasn't even meant for people in the United States to watch and it kind of blew up. So I'm gonna assume there's gonna be a second season.
The only thing that bothered me, and I'm cool if they would have kept the actual language that was spoken and then put subtitles for us to understand at the bottom. But the
You
lip
don't like the
sync, the
mouthing?
overdub,
Yeah.
that killed half of it for me so far because it was just I don't know. I have like OCD or whatever when it comes down to that because I was very, I don't know. I always kind of watch like their faces and how they interact. And when their lips don't match what they're saying, it's just like,
Yeah. I mean, like they still react the same, but I get what you mean. I don't like it's kind of like when the mouthing and the audio is off when you turn something on.
yeah.
I hate that. But I was gonna tell you to watch this other show, but if you don't like that, then you're not gonna like it.
Well, I like Squid Game so far.
Well, it's in another language, but there's like an English over
I mean,
thing.
I have no problem watching it. I'm just like, you get used to it after the first 2 episodes. I got used to this, but I was just like, for the first two, you're sitting there. It's like, this kind of takes away just a little bit of the story from it because it's like, it's something you have to really like, it's more attention to detail than anything else.
Yeah. Um, so the show I was gonna tell you is called Dark. It's a German show, but I think you would find it really interesting. It's about like these boys that go missing. You would like it a lot, trust me.
And that's on Netflix.
Yeah, it kind of chimes into time travel a little bit.
All right. I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I still have yet to see The Quiet Place 2. That was my
I
film that
haven't
was most anticipated, and I still have not seen it in theaters.
I
I know
haven't
it's on
seen that
digital.
either. I really want to see Halloween, the new one, and Spider-Man that's coming out. I also really want to see Uncharted that's coming out in February. It's about the treasure with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. Really want to see that. I think that's gonna be a good movie.
Did you watch the Uncharted fan film that was made on YouTube?
I did not. I didn't know there was one.
I will send it to you. A few high-end actors actually got together, made a really good, like high-quality Hollywood short film for it.
Really, I had no
It is a
idea.
And this was before they cast Tom Holland, or whatever. And I was like, please cast this guy. And I forget the actor's name, but once you see him, you'll know who he is.
Okay, I'll trust you on that.
No, I mean, you will at least recognize the face. Whether you'll know his
Okay.
name is a different story, but you'll recognize the face.
Okay. Have you ever seen We're the Millers?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen The Maze Runner?
I have seen The Maze Runner, yes.
Okay, I forget the kid's name, but the one that everybody always talks about his eyebrows, the blonde kid. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I saw he got cast in something. What was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Wasn't it Uncharted? Isn't he in that too, or is he in Batman? The new Batman with
Robert
Robert
Pattinson?
Pattinson. That actually looks pretty good.
Oh, I love the trailer for it. I actually like the
I
trailer.
did too.
It wasn't a trailer; it was a sneak peek, but it was a sneak peek for Black Adam with Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yes, I saw that. I want to see all of these. Like we've got some good movies coming out. We didn't have a lot during COVID, so I'm like really excited.
Yeah, now they all got pushed back to this year, so now you got to watch like double the amount that you would typically watch in a real year.
Yeah, I know, but I'm okay with that. So
This is more for me asking this question because we're on Shield of Hope. What would it take for you to come back on a production at Shield of Hope?
well, I'll be home during Christmas, so you can have me then.
No, but no, but like, did you ever think of, because what we're trying to do here at Shield of Hope, obviously we have the website up, we're doing a lot of different things with apps. Is there anything that you ever want to do like creative, like with the writing or like little animated series or short film ideas or?
Actually, yes. I don't know why I've been thinking about this lately, but this sounds stupid, but I literally want to turn my dreams into like little short feature films.
Well, then do it.
It'd be really hard because my dreams are really crazy.
Well, okay, Quentin Tarantino. I don't know what that.
I know that's kind of how they are, but like it's like really weird that my brain comes up with these things. I don't know, but I think it would be cool if I made short films on my dreams.
You should, and like, especially keep looking for all these jobs that you can possibly get, or these acting interviews and whatnot down in Texas, because I think that you can actually find a really good opportunity down there as well.
Oh yeah,
And,
it's a really big city, so I feel like there's a lot of opportunity.
and did you ever think about starting your own production at all, or like funding anything yourself, or have you never wanted to really like be in charge of that?
No, I have, but I just don't have the money for it. So
Well, nobody has
maybe
the
one
money, right?
day. I know, I know, but maybe when I retire, you never know.
What would it be called if you had to give us a production company name? What would you call it?
I have no clue, like literally no clue. I
Listen,
don't
this is
know.
not. You got to be a quick thinker. Come on now.
I know. I don't know. I don't have. I'm not very like creative. Do you still have the same job?
I still work with horses. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah, so
nice.
I still work with horses. I actually got to play with Westies today, a bunch of Westie puppies. I don't know if you know what Westies are.
Mm-mm.
They're on my Snapchat or my Instagram, so you should go check that out. But
I will look.
they're really cute. I really thought about buying one. They have one that hasn't been sold yet, and I was like, I should buy it. But my German Shepherd would kill it.
You should totally get a dog.
Well, my German Shepherd I have would kill it.
No, he'll be okay.
It's a pretty aggressive dog. Gotta hide
Oh
it.
wait, I think I did see those puppies actually.
Well,
I saw your Snapchat story.
today was day 2 of it. Tomorrow's day 3. So it's Hummel's mom's dogs, and they are the most adorable things I've ever seen. Now
Aw,
I can't say that, how like some dogs are cute as puppies, but then they turn into like not cute dogs.
they turn like real ugly, but they're still cute because they're probably stupid.
So I'm not a big fan of like the adult version of them, but I was like the
Mm,
puppies is like if they could stay the puppies forever, like I would
that would
love
be
that.
nice.
But I was like
Why
the
don't
adult version.
I literally wish there was a dog that would just stay a puppy.
That and well, here's a question I always had too, because I had to ask this today. I really don't understand the gene for animals compared to humans. If we let our hair grow, it continues to grow, like
Right.
until we cut it. Why do animals like get the pleasure? I'm gonna use the word pleasure when it grows to like one length and stops growing.
You know, this reminds me of like shower thoughts because this is a serious question that I can't answer. But that's actually a really good question. I was thinking the same thing, and I don't really get the difference between long-haired dogs and short-haired dogs. How does one determine? Like, I get the difference, but I'm like, what makes it long-haired versus short-haired? Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't really understand that either. But like the idea is they still grow to like the same length, and like you don't ever like the shaggiest dog. You don't really have to cut its hair; it just stops.
Yeah, I know.
Stops
It's
growing.
still like it's not even that long.
It's truly amazing. And the other thing too, like last year I had like a root canal at the dentist, and
Oh
I'm over
gosh.
here like sharks can regrow like 5 different pairs of teeth in their life. It's like, how come we can't do this? Is there a reason? Like, God, can you explain why?
So since they can regrow teeth, are they still considered bones?
That's a really good question. I don't know.
These are all great questions,
I never really considered our own teeth as bones, so it's interesting.
right? It's weird.
Interesting facts about Gianna Tuggle.
Yeah.
Um, so since you're in Texas, okay, and I know that a lot of people move there from California to go to Texas, especially during
Yeah.
2020 and everything else. I'm
Yes,
sure you've seen people down there from California, but have you bought a Tesla yet?
absolutely not. I hate electric cars. Listen, I know that gas cars like pollute the world. I like the old days, okay? I like all the old stuff. I just don't trust electric cars, okay? Like one malfunction and everything could just crash. I don't trust it.
No,
But
I
I have seen a lot of Teslas here.
and when we dealt with, well, that's because Elon Musk technically like moved his stuff down there. That's why I was asking that question. I was like, so Elon moved from California to Texas, so that was
Do you know what part he went to? Because I know a lot of the people from California went to Austin, which is like 3 hours away from me. And I don't like going there, but I like it here in Houston.
so I thought it was Austin as well.
That's
Um,
probably where he is.
because if I watch a lot of Joe Rogan's podcast, and I know Joe went
Oh,
to
okay.
Austin, and I thought Elon went to Austin too.
I do like Joe Rogan's podcast a lot.
I mean,
But
okay,
yeah, that's probably where he is because actually I'm pretty positive that's where he is because I just went there and I remember seeing something about him. I know Matthew McConaughey is really big in Austin, Texas. I have no idea why, but he is everywhere, all over billboards.
I does did Matthew McConaughey just give up on making movies? I swear he just does the car commercials and that's it.
Yeah, he doesn't really do. I was gonna say maybe I could have sworn I just saw him in a trailer for something, but he doesn't really do movies anymore. I know he wrote a book. My friend bought it and said it was really good, and he does a lot of podcasts.
Here's a good question too. When people talk about their life experience and they come out with all these books, like if you're a high-end celebrity or whatever, do you think they actually write the books themselves, or do they like tell somebody like how to like what they experience and they like hire a writer to, because half the time, and this is with sports books because it's more what I'm into when I do my readings, it's a player's name with, and then it has like a writer's name.
That's a good question. Honestly, what when you said that, I literally envisioned a actor just sitting on the couch talking to a writer and them just kind of correcting how they write it. They probably do that. I don't know though, because you know how like if I get into acting, I would still do some type of writing or directing. So maybe they do write it.
Well, I mean, technically, can you still be considered a writer if you just gave the idea? I'm assuming that's still,
I don't know.
where's the
I know you can,
technicality behind that? And is an ebook actually a book?
no. Ebooks are not books. I'm sorry. They're just not. That's like literally reading a story on Snapchat.
And are audiobooks actually books?
I just consider those podcasts.
Yeah, that's why I would consider it too. But like me and my one buddy on our one podcast, we got into like a debate over like, is an audiobook actually a book? I was like, because you can't really hold it, so it's not really a book.
Book. Yeah, true. They would probably still be considered an author. I don't know about a writer though, because they didn't physically write it.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned a little bit about Joe Rogan and how you listen to him. If you had to name like your top three podcasters that you listen to, what would they be?
Oh boy, I don't even know. Oh, this one podcast I listen to, I really like. It's called Red Handed. It's it's this like British or is it Australian? I don't know. But these two girls, they talk about like murder stories and they try to like solve them. So I like to listen to them when I'm driving a long distance because it's kind of like a story. Um, I do listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and then there's one more I listen to. I'm trying to remember the name. He's very political. I don't know if you listen to him or not. I cannot remember his name for the life of me now that we're talking about it.
Well, I love Tim Cast RL with Tim Pool. I don't know if you ever watched or listened to Tim Pool. I would recommend him to you. I think especially if you're looking for political stuff, I love Tim. He also talks a little about entertainment too, but
Oh, there's this one podcast I listen to. It has something to do with like the Discovery Channel. It's very like scientific. You should look into it. It talks about there was this one podcast on there that talks about like lithium and how it relates to being bipolar. I think that's cool, but
I've
it
also
like helps you.
I watch a lot of YouTube before I fall asleep at night. So like instead of listening to political podcasts lately, I've been trying to listen to more like History Channel stuff. So
I
like
love the History Channel.
so like documentaries, like the old History Channel before they decided to make like TV shows on History Channel, like the old History Channel. I was
I would
listening.
literally sit on there and watch documentaries and fall asleep to it on the couch.
I watched the one about Julius Caesar and the Roman Empire the other night, and I was like, it's amazing. And I would recommend this to people. If you fall asleep to like something historical, I think you absorb more information when you fall asleep listening to something like that.
Right. Because your brain's like still awake.
And business too. If you ever want to do anything business related or entrepreneurship, I think that's something good to listen to as well.
That's true. I need to listen to more about stocks.
You're gonna hit the next Bitcoin before it's Bitcoin?
Hey, I might. You never know. Tesla's up right now too, so.
Oh, do you have stock in Tesla?
I don't. My friend does. It's up like $3,000. I have a stock, but it's not out yet. I bought a share in a company for shoes that are called like Allbirds, and it doesn't drop until November. But apparently, people are going crazy over it. So I was like, let me get in this before it blows up.
So you didn't get the GameStop stock before it decided
No,
to skyrocket?
no, I wish I did, but I just recently got into stocks. I've always wanted to. I just didn't really know how to invest. I had to have my friend like kind of teach me about it.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part about it is I have Yahoo like financials on my phone. I swear
Hmm.
every second of the day I get a notification like this stock's up here. I'm over here like I wish I never signed up for this.
Yep. I hate those spam mail.
Some ideas going in, and I know you talked about turning your dreams into more like short films and stuff like that. How do you describe your dreams? Are they like I know you talked about messed up, like can you put them in a category? Are they horror? Are they mystery?
I have a very mixed dreams. Like let me tell you about one of them, okay? So this is like all I remember from it. If I like I could wake up and write down the whole thing, but I just sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. The one dream I had, I was literally like it felt like I was in like a wizard world. I was flying in the sky and kind of everything that I did was in the sky. Like all of the buildings were floating. I remember I had to take the bus somewhere and it was still in the sky. I was like, what is happening? And I always had to like say a spell to get onto the bus. Like that was my ticket. It was really weird. I don't know. That was one of my dreams. And then a dream I had the other night is weird. It was like I was like watching myself. Like I literally woke up and freaked out. Like so I love Michael Myers, okay? And I don't know if it was like trying to mirror him or something, but I was sleeping in my bed, like in my dream. I was sleeping in my bed watching myself sleep. And then somebody like came in the room and started choking me. And I just like couldn't move. I was like paralyzed. I was like trying to scream, but I guess my body was in shock. But it kind of looked like Michael Myers. Don't know if it was him. And then I went back to bed after that. I had another dream. There was a ghost in my kitchen, like a little boy. It's weird. I have weird dreams. Some of them I have like I've had a Wild West dream. I don't know half the people in my dreams. I don't know where they come from, but
That would be so
they're
fun
crazy.
though, to shoot a
It's kind
Wild
of
West
fun.
film.
Yes, I know. I'm like, it's kind of fun to be in my dreams because it's like I watch a full movie happen.
Props to costume designers, by the way. If you're out there and you're a costume designer or a prop designer, God bless you. I don't see when I do my films, I'm very generic. I was like, okay, if you watch the agendas or anything else like that, I just pick the color and like, okay, no logos. Our character, because when we're taught in film school, it's your character is supposed to wear kind of the shade of what mood they're in or what they want to perceive on camera. So like agendas
Right.
was just like, okay, we're gonna wear main character wears like some sort of like a brownish or gray, because he's obviously like a gray character. By the end of
That's
the
how
film,
they do the makeup sometimes too.
But see, and you
Is
might know a little bit more about that than I do, but like, because you've been on sets, then, my sets, I've only been on like basically my own productions and how I run it, which is completely, if you ever saw my scripts, completely different than the Hollywood standard, by the way. I'm sure they would rip it up and be like, what is this crap? But I do my directorial notes in my scripts, like even typing them out, and that can turn a lot of people off. But props
listen,
to
I
the
think they would
costume
applaud
designers.
you for effort.
Yes. Props to the costume designers though, because like that is an actual, and marketing. If you
Yeah, it
if
takes
you
a
don't have
lot.
good costumes and marketing,
Yeah.
moving on in the future, obviously you talked a lot about, after you retire, you could see yourself going back in acting. You could also see yourself doing like your own production company that we threw out there, even though you don't have a good name for it yet. It's okay, we'll excuse that. Um,
I gotta think long and hard about that one.
but so do you have goals in life? Because I think it's important that everybody seems to have goals when they go into the
Hmm.
future. One thing that I actually listened to um, Denzel Washington. He gave a speech at one of the
Oh, I like
colleges for
him.
graduation, and it was like a 25-minute long clip that I just pulled up on YouTube. I was like, okay, it's inspirational. Cool, let's go with it. And he talked about every day, he's like, set at least 5 goals in the morning and accomplish those goals throughout the day. So,
Like short-term goals.
yes, just like for that day,
Yeah.
just to keep your mind on it and also show that you can do it, because the more you put yourself in a rhythm, the more you get things done.
Right.
But for you, what are some of your goals, whether on a daily basis or looking forward into the future?
Um, on a daily basis, I have like for just because I'm in school, like per se, my daily goal is to have a better time when I run. Like I always have to run a mile and a half, and I have to finish it in 17:20. So I always try to up my time every week. So far, I've got it to 14:47, but it's gone up every week. So I always try to get it up. And then like academically, I always try to get a better test on like my weekly test or a better grade on my weekly test because I just really want an A really bad. But I've gotten A's. I want to be the best. So
No, I
stuff
mean
like that.
that's gonna push
Or
you too.
just like little things like drinking more water, keeping myself hydrated. Like it's really good to always drink a lot of water. So
Ladies and gentlemen,
I know that sounds stupid, but I swear it's good to keep yourself hydrated.
you just got a health gig right there from Gianna. You just got health
Yes.
information. You should really just be an instructor on health, whether it's physical health or mental health. That's what you need. You should just,
Probably listen, I'm like mentally unstable, so that would probably not be a good idea.
hey, sometimes that's the best way to be.
It's very true. Very true. Hey, everything I do, I learn a lesson from. That's all I know.
You look at a world in a different light when who it's boring to look at the world the same way everybody else does, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is. I'm just
Also,
trying to be positive every day right now.
not talking about mentally insane people, but did you watch the Joker movie, by the way?
The new one?
Yeah,
Yes.
beautiful, by the way. It's
I
actually
love
one of top
I
five
love
of
how he
comic book
portrays it.
top five in
I
my
love it.
comic book list, 100%.
I love that movie.
And of course, I know you're a big Marvel fan because you loved Endgame. Which one was the
Yes.
best TV show so far between WandaVision or Loki? Which one did you like better?
I like WandaVision. I
Just for
just like
the
how
just
they
for the
go
set
through the
design and like how they did it?
I like how they go through the times. That's like my favorite thing in a movie is like what time it takes place in. So
And that's also, see, that's one of the things that like I was entertained the first few episodes because I was like,
hmm
okay, they're actually like there's a lot of, give the directors and writers a lot of credit because they're making it look like the old TV shows of the past. But like by
hmm
episode 4, I was like, I was just like, I don't know how much more I could sit through this before it came back to the real world. But I'm glad it came back to the real world, because I did not want to see a whole series like that. I
I
thought
felt the same way. I felt the same exact way.
I thought Loki was interesting, and I thought that was better than WandaVision in my opinion. But I don't know how much they can show in the actual Marvel movies, because the way I described to my friend, he's like, well, you know, we're watching the Spider-Man trailer. And to anybody that's out there that has seen the trailer, if not, go watch the trailer. But the new Spider-Man trailer, they reference a lot, or like there could be time travel, multiverse, whatever they're doing right now with Doctor Strange in it. And my friend's like, well, can't that be from Loki or whatever? And I was like, yeah, but what Loki has done has only showed up in the TV series. I was like, as hard as this sounds to believe, like as hard as this is to believe, there's still like a majority of fans that don't watch the TV shows that are strictly moviegoers, like for the
Yeah,
cinematic
it's
universe.
yeah, I was gonna say it's a cinematic universe completely different. But
So you can't really say like show up in Spider-Man and say, hey, this is the result of Loki. It's like because we haven't seen it in the movie theater.
right, right. Yeah, I've always said though, I like I don't want anybody to bash me for this, but I think DC makes better TV shows and I think Marvel makes better movies because DC partnered with CW and they make really good TV shows like The Flash. Absolutely my favorite show. I love the Arrow. Batwoman was pretty good. Supergirl, all that, all great. I don't really like I don't keep up with Marvel's TV shows as much as I keep up with DC's, but I don't keep up with DC's movies as much as I keep up with Marvel's movies. So it kind of coincides with each other.
Yeah, DC found that nice niche with the CW where they actually put out better content than Marvel at the TV level.
Right,
The,
right,
the problem is they're so far behind on the movie level. It's ridiculous.
right. They still have good movies. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah, but what do you
I
do with
just
these movies? Because they try to build up this, and this is I want your opinion on this, I guess. You as DC, and I always joked, I was like, just give me DC and I'll run it better than you guys have because Aquaman, good film, at least in my opinion.
I
I don't,
loved Aquaman.
I don't know how the Flash is going to turn out, but I mean,
The
this is
thing about the Flash that I did not like is that they used a completely different actor from the
yeah,
TV show, and I'm like, why would you change people's opinion of that?
yeah. Wonder Woman I thought was really good, but I thought Batman and Superman weren't really that good. And now that they kind of broke off and they're like, okay, Affleck's done, Henry Cavill seems to be done, you know, what's the purpose of making Aquaman 2 with the same character? Because like that universe is gone.
It sucks. Well, they could make it a prequel though.
No, you could, but like, what's the point of getting invested in that character if you're not bringing all the characters back together? Like, at least in Marvel, it's like when somebody appears, like they have a chance
Yeah,
of coming back like 10 years later in like another film.
yeah, that's very true.
DC doesn't do that, and I think they'll have more success with Robert Pattinson's Batman. But when you start taking all these properties, messing all this up, and like keep doing reboot after reboot after reboot, it's hard to build that fan base because like why should we care when you're going to cancel it 2 movies later?
Right, right.
So I don't know how you fix that. I guess you just wipe the slate clean and actually run with what you're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. I don't know. They made two Suicide Squads, so who knows?
Did you see both of them or no?
I did.
Which did you like any of them? Did you like one of them? Did you like which one did you like?
Honestly, I liked the first one better than the second one, but I don't know. The second one was okay. I felt like Harley Quinn kind of made the whole movie. Like if she wasn't in it, nobody would watch it.
Yeah.
I just
Um,
don't feel like they put enough story into it. Like they don't really build up. It's kind of just like they want to be dark and they want to have all of these like combat scenes, but they don't put enough background into it. So
well, see, I was on the fence. I liked the second one better, only because
really,
now and it's weird too because I hate Guardians of the Galaxy and it's James Gunn, so it
what?
boggles my mind.
I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'm sorry, I hate it. I loved them both in Infinity War and Endgame. The characters, I just didn't like their own standalone movies.
I
So
understand.
James Gunn actually, I went in liking what James Gunn typically does, but like Guardians of the Galaxy was like a no for me. I'm glad that
For real? That's like my favorite movie.
he did more. James Gunn does a lot better rated R stuff. I think James Gunn was kind of when Marvel could not be rated R, so
Right.
pushing it down and making more dry humor and like stuff that I think he would have expanded upon more when he was if he would have been given a Guardians of the Galaxy rated R film. But with Suicide Squad, I was like, okay, is there really like I went into that movie without like I didn't expect a plot. I just expect a lot of humor and action, and I got that.
Okay.
And like that wasn't a film that I'm looking for a plot for, and I think that's
Right.
why I
Right.
enjoyed it more.
I did think it was really funny. It
And
was
that's
just something like nice to watch.
nice as everybody's heads getting blown off and stuff like that. But yes, it was beautiful. Um, yeah, but that was just one of those films. Like, there's certain films, and maybe I'm just the only one, but there's certain films I go in with the expectation of, okay, I'm not going to watch the story. I'm just going to watch how things unfold.
Right.
Like, I consider that more of like my film mental break. Like, instead of trying to dissect the film and like look for plot and story structure, it's just like, okay, I need that film. I can just go sit in the theater and be like, All right, I'm ready for some action and just like let my mind wander and be like, okay, let's view this as an actual audience member.
I could do that.
Which it's pretty. Do you find it hard though because you've been on so many sets and like worked like and you want to be in the background of filmmaking? Is it harder to watch a film like without giving critiques right away, or do you find yourself like, okay, the first time I can actually watch it with an audience, and then the second time,
Um, Honestly, I don't think it's harder. Like it feels the same. Some things I'm like, I can tell when something's bad, but it doesn't really stop me from watching it. So
I guess critiques is the wrong word. I really should use. So in my case for filmmaking, when I watch a cool angle or whatever, like the camera like turns and pans and like does some sort of like say the Kingsman, like the church scene. Did you watch the Kingsman?
no, but I that's on my list. I have a whole list.
Okay, well there's a whole like massacre scene. Oh
Ooh,
no,
sorry.
no, all good. There's a whole like massacre scene in like this church that goes on, and like it's a one shot thing. It's like 1917 with like a lot more quicker moves with like the one shot take. And I always get like amazed by that. I was like, I wonder how they did that, and I take myself away from the story because I'm like, how did they set this up?
Yeah,
That's
some things I think look really cool. Like when I'm watching something like stuff like that, I notice. But other than that,
yeah. So it's hard for me to focus on story sometimes because I'm like, well, how did they just do that? That's pretty cool. And
right.
my buddy's like, yo, did you just see that? I'm like, I'm sorry, I was processing what just took place about like two scenes ago. Uh, but anyway, thank you, Gianna, for joining me on
Thanks
this
for having
podcast.
me.
Thank you for being able to catch up, and hopefully you'll be on in the future a lot more. I would love to bring you on.
Hopefully.
Seriously, if there's anything you want to do for Shield of Hope or whatever, because we are trying to expand not only for our subscriber base, but we're trying to expand like and do more projects. Jake is going to be writing some like articles for our website on like character
Okay.
development because he's a writer. I got like two other people doing different like podcasts next year. If there's anything you ever want to do, let me know.
Okay.
I got two
I
really
might I
cool.
might hop on the podcast grind.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, I'm cool. If you ever even want to start your own podcast, you could. If you just want to be like like a monthly person that jumps on, if you want to be like if you would love to co-host a podcast, I'd be all in for it.
Okay. Thank you.
So I mean, just keep me updated and let me know because it's really good talking to you again. It's been like a
It's
year.
nice talking to you too. I know. It's been so long.
Well, anyway, Gianna Tuggle, everybody, where can they find you at, Gianna?
Texas. I'm kidding. I mean, are you talking about social media?
Yeah, social media.
Just Instagram, basically. Gianna_Tuggle.
Gianna, thank you again for joining me, and I will talk to you very, very soon.
Thanks for having me. Bye, Donnie.
Bye, G.